Okay, so what am I doing in here? What's happening? Today, we're gonna be working on Natalie's Jeep. So, what are we doing to this beautiful Jeep, you might ask? We are gonna do some stuff. You're gonna have to wait and see. It's exciting, something we've never done before, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So, I'm gonna start by getting rid of these really nice PRP seats. So, stay tuned, let's do it. Come on now. If you just grab it by that on that end, grab that end. Right there. So, at this point of the video, you're probably asking yourself, what is this guy doing to her Jeep? I'm cutting it up, duh. Can't you tell? I'm cutting it. I mean, you guys are watching it, I'm cutting it up. All right, no, okay, I'll show you. You want me to show you? I'll show you. Okay, so we are doing that. This is what we're doing. Now, there's a lot here. Don't mind those long ones, but there's a lot going on here. And not many people have made a video about this, so I figured, you know what? Let's make a video about it. See if I can make the most comprehensive GENRIGHT JK 4-door roll cage install on YouTube. Also, look at my boo-boo. It's gross. Anyways, we're gonna do that. So I gotta learn how to read. But once I get that figured out, or find someone that can read it for me, we're gonna put this together. It's just like a big erector set, no problem. So let's do it. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is get everything out of the Jeep. Seats, carpet, all of the plastic trim that goes along here, okay? Everything out. You want to take the seat belts out, okay? Because you're going to need to access these areas. So once all of that is stripped out, and pro tip here, when you're taking these seat belts out, or any of these Torx that are, you know, holding the seat belts in, there is a lot of Loctite. So go slow, be careful not to break those, because they will break. So once you get all that done, the very first piece you want to grab is this piece here, okay? It's got a little pin on it. And there's two of these. Now, they can only go on a specific side. So you have to figure out which side you need. And where that's gonna go is right in here. So you got a bolt here and a bolt here, okay? Those bolts are gonna come out. And then this little hole where you can find some lovely spray foam. That's where that pin goes in. Okay, so it goes like that and goes in there and uses those 2 bolts to locate it. Now, as you can see here, there is this piece of aluminum dash that is in the way. Now you need to trim this back, and I'll mark that and show you the best way to do that. Okay, so you can see all my little black scribbles. That's where you're gonna wanna remove. So I'm just gonna use a grinder with a flap wheel. I'm gonna come in here and I'm almost gonna lay it flat just so it doesn't touch any of the body. I've seen other guys using a burring tool and all this other stuff, but this just makes it real flat and makes it look a little bit more OEM. So you just come in here, grind that. You might need to use a burring tool towards the back to kind of round this edge off where this like inner webbing is, because that's where it really needs to sit flush. So I'll show you how we do that and then we'll get going from there. Alright, so this is the finished product. As you can see, smoothed everything out. I've cleaned out all this webbing in here. Now I'm just going to pull these 2 bolts out. We'll put that in there. Okay, so if you plan on putting these in now and not taking them back out, you're going to want to paint these now. I am going to get everything assembled. This is what I would recommend. Get everything assembled, check everything, and get all the final welding done. And then when you take the cage out to powder coat it or paint it or whatever you're going to do, then you take these brackets out, powder coat or paint them, put everything back in, and then you'll be good to go. So like I said, this slides in here like so, and there is a lot of this spray foam in here, so you kind of got to dig that out and give this little dowel a spot to go. Okay, and we'll just tighten that down. Okay, so as you can see, that piece is in there, bolted in. The next piece you're going to want to grab is this piece here. Now, again, just like this piece that we just put in, there's 2 for either side, so you have to figure out which one goes where. There's a little bit of a jog to it. So this basically slides in, and then get it behind there, and you can see those holes line up. And that plate we just put in is threaded to receive that. So I'll get this bolted in, I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so you're going to want to use these ones here. These are the shorter of the 2 that come with the kit. And just snake this baby in there. In the kit, you're going to get one of these. This is just a template to help you figure out where to cut the dash. So basically, you see this little lip right here. It needs to go down through there, almost like right here, and then straight down. Now keep in mind, the real piece is a little bit thicker than this, so you kind of have to adjust this way inward for that, because that plate's going to want to go behind this plate. So I'm just going to start slow. I'm going to notch this here, and then I'm going to get rid of all this here. I'm just kind of lining the drill bit up with the edge of this plate here. Okay. That will give me a nice round radius to help it look as factory as possible. Okay. So I basically just followed that factory line as best as possible. I'm going to clean up this a little bit more. So I think we're good here. We just need to go this way a little bit more. If you don't have one of these Milwaukee band files for this project, go buy one. 'Cause you're gonna be using it a lot. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll come in and clean that up with some sandpaper in a little bit, but on to the next side. Okay, so now we're gonna leave that the way it is, and we're gonna go back to the B-pillar. So you gotta kind of get this wiring harness out of the way, and then this is a stud for the wiring harness. You're gonna need to take your cutoff wheel and boom, cut that. And then you see this seam sealer right here. Once we get this cut, we're gonna put the bracket in there and mark where we need to get rid of the seam sealer. And then they give you a supplied like scraper, but I find that using this band file is way better. So you just kind of go in here and you'll smooth it out, and it actually leaves a good amount in the low part of the seam, and then it levels everything off. So I'm gonna do that right now, and then we'll get this bracket in place. So as you can see, that now sits nice and flush in there. The nice thing about that is that it just smooths out all the seam sealer that's in there and doesn't take any away besides the extra that's on top. So that's good. So now I'm just gonna run a bolt right through that hole and we're good to go. Okay, so obviously after, well, it might not be obvious for all of you, but in case you didn't take the alphabet in whatever grade they teach the alphabet, after B comes, that's right, X. C comes C. So what we gotta do is we gotta zoom out this factory 13 mil. And now this is another spot where I deviate a little bit from the directions. They want you to take a crescent wrench onto this lip here and bend it over to flatten it out. It looks terrible no matter how good you are with a crescent wrench and bending stuff. It's never gonna look right. So what I do is I'm just going to grind back a little bit of this edge and smooth it out, and then just like all the brackets that I'm putting in, after we send the cage out to powder coat, we'll come back, we're gonna paint back here, we're gonna paint this part, and any other spots on the floor that we might have messed up or scratched, we're gonna paint so there's no rust. So I'm gonna grind this smooth and make it so that bracket, this bracket is the one, can slide in here. So let me do that and I'll get back with you guys. So same as before, we're just gonna take our marker and we are going to mark where this thing's gonna go. Remove it, and then we'll remove all this seam sealer so it sits flat against the body. Okay, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I'll throw this fucking 14. So now we just throw this back in here somewhere right there. Okay, so now you just want to snug this down. You don't want to go crazy, because what we have to do is level this surface here with this surface here, basically the rail that the hardtop would line on. You want these two to be even. So I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, so what you want to do is get yourself one of these little angle finders that magnets on. You take a reading from this here, from this rail, and then you're going to want to put it on there. And now what you do is you have this kind of tight enough where you can take your hammer and, you know, adjust it that way, and then take a reading. I'm going to turn this around so I can actually see it and not you see it, but just trust that that's how I'm doing it. So let me get that dialed in here. All right, so we're at 1.3 there. And we're at 3 on this one. So that's way off. So now what we're gonna do is drill out this hole, and this hole. And that way we can get this finalized, bolted down. I am gonna tighten this down just a little bit more before we drill. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so once you have those 3 holes drilled, what we're gonna do is now take this off, and then I'm gonna have Corey go in with a bigger drill bit, and basically the size up from this one. This one is the 3/8, which is the same diameter as this hole, and just to give us a little bit of room, because basically what happens is there's a bracket behind here that you have to slide in through a hole, and that's what this hole is here. So we have to drill a hole saw right here, slide the bracket in and kind of hold it with your hands, and then that's tapped for these bolts. So we're gonna have these drilled out a little bit more for some more play, and then we'll get this completely squared up with the frame rail again, or with the top of the tub again, before we start welding. So that's what that looks like there. On to the last bracket in this kit, the D-pillar bracket. Now this just slides on here. You want to make sure all your wires are clear. And so what I'm going to do is get a assistant, Corey, to hold this, and then I'm going to use a transfer punch and punch this one here, remove it, drill this hole, bolt this down, repeat the process. All right, so if you want to hold that perfectly still right there, get this perfect. Okay, we can take this off. I'll drill that out. Good to go. Okay, so now all we got to do before we can start bolting the cage in and welding and stuff is shaving this. Now, the kit comes with a cap plate, but mine didn't come with it. So, call GENRIGHT, they're going to send one, but I want to keep moving forward, and I kind of know how to do this. So, I'm just going to follow kind of this line down here, and then that, and get it cut. That way this is out of our way for when the tubes start going in. Okay, so moving forward is going to be somewhat self-explanatory. I will stop certain areas where I think there is room for instruction, because there's not a lot of it online. And if you're anything like me, reading pages and pages of instructions gets a little old. So basically, how this is started and how most of the cage will go together is there are little keys that key into holes, and similar to this one here, you can see. And that's how the tubes fit together. So on this one, I've got it kind of basically tacked in. I left these brackets a little loose just to have some movement. Now I'm just gonna check the windshield frame brackets, make sure the windshield's exactly where it should be. Also, I'm not protecting this windshield too much because it's getting replaced. So if you see me welding near it and you're cringing, that's why. So yeah. I'm gonna keep going. I will stop when I need to explain more so you guys have a better idea what's going on. These gaps here, I'm gonna tighten up. I'm gonna take these on the bench and kind of bend these in to fit a little bit better. But yeah, so far so good. All right, boys, so quick update here. We're just basically, you know, going along here. Corey's still fitting a couple pipes in as we go. We've tacked in a lot of places, and now we're just going back and finish welding. Obviously, what we're gonna have to do is take the whole thing out and get to the spots we can't get to. But pretty self-explanatory here. Definitely worth having an extra set of hands to lift up and move stuff around. But we're just gonna keep going, leave you on time lapse. If I see stuff you need to know, I'll let you know. So we'll just keep going.
Boys, I think it's done. That was a welding marathon. I'm done. Let's take a look at it. We gotta get this thing to the powder coater quick.
So she's all welded. I did the best job sanding I could. And now it's up to the powder coater to make this thing look good. So hopefully he does a good job. All right, boys, so as you saw from the last clip, cage back from the powder coater. I'm not gonna show you the full thing right now. Let's go down to the shop and I'll show you what we're doing right now. Okay, so back in the shop, excuse the terrible lighting, and cage out of the Jeep, obviously. What we're gonna do now is we are going to chop the B-pillar. I've already done the other side. Not gonna show you that yet, but this is the first one I've done, so I wanted to make sure I nailed that side before I show you how to do this side. So, without further ado, let's do that. Obviously, boys, what we got here, half doors. These are of the GENRIGHT off-road variety. They're all aluminum. They're painted to match. There's probably a whole video on how to install these, but I didn't have time. Basically, I got aftermarket brackets. These are from Rugged Ridge because the factory ones are $500. The GENRIGHT ones are $400. These were 180 bucks. So they were supposed to get powder coated. That didn't happen. We're gonna have to paint them. So, regardless of all of that information that you didn't need, we want to chop this body pillar. So, to do that, you want to make sure your doors are aligned properly how you want them, okay? And that will give you a full level surface along here. Then, what I did, hang on, un momento. These, okay? This comes with the GENRIGHT body A pillar, B pillar, this is a B pillar, B pillar chop kit. So bottom piece, top piece. Now, basically these match up with the shape of this, okay? This one here has a pin on it, like a little dowel, that'll go into this one, and that will get welded in there to be level with the doors. Now, these two here, you want to start with the bottom one, okay? And what I did was I took a piece of cardboard, good quality cardboard, no like Papa John's boxes, okay? Some thick. And then I took this piece here and I traced it out, okay? And then I cut that part out, okay? So now you put this aside. Then what you want to do is get it going the right way and slide it in here level with your doors. So you can see now that this door and this door are both on this cardboard. So it's a perfectly straight line. And you get that sitting nice and level. Then you're going to want to take a Sharpie, some you can see, and you're going to want to draw and trace underneath here. Now you can open the doors, basically like hold this in place if you're opening this door, trace underneath there, get all the way around. Then you can remove this, remove the doors, and slice through that. So let's do that. Safety first. So, got the line drawn on here. And now, I'm going to take our old friend, Mr. Cutoff Wheel. And we are going to cut this Jeep. No coming back now. So, I'm just going to slice this. There is a bunch of inner stuff that I'll need the Sawzall for, but I'm going to start with that. So, here we go. Here we go. We gotta get in the right stance. We gotta get nice and low, y'all. Oh no. Oh gosh, darn it.
Yeah.
Oh darn it, Corey.
What's going on, man?
Fuck, dude. Turned out perfect. You know what? What can you do, boys?
Nice, man.
It turned out perfect.
Looks good.
So I'm gonna grab the Sawzall, and then if I could get you to just hold this,
Yeah.
while I chop that. Spoiler alert, guys! It turned out perfect.
Ah.
There you go. Bing bong.
There we go, man.
Okay, it's the next day. As you can tell from that clip, I forgot to film after that because I was very busy. But you saw us putting the cage in. Now let me show you what we've done with the B-pillar. Alright, so as you can see, the B-pillar chop is done. Now, I'm not a body guy, So this is the best I could get it. There's a couple small imperfections, and I literally sprayed this with one of those like custom paint match cans. It's close. It's not great. It'll get us by. So basically, you saw me do the cut. Just, you know, tack welded all this in there all the way around. Just go slow so you don't warp anything. Then grind it smooth. I was able to get it with like barely any body filler. That's mostly all metal. And then you just do the same to the top half. So anyway, cage is in. I'm gonna start bolting stuff back in. We're gonna pull this outside, get the seats and stuff in, and we're gonna go from there. So let's do it. Oh boy, it's first time in the light here. All right, I already got the front seats on and the front wheels on. I didn't film because I'm rushing, so bear with me. Also, I haven't made a YouTube video in a long time. I forgot what to do. Let's hit you with the time lapse, shall we? Boys, that's it for the roll cage video. This GENRIGHT roll cage is awesome. It is so nice. Of course, we powder coat it the same color as the wheels. For everyone that's asking what color it is, I'm not telling you, but it's really nice. It looks sick, especially with these red kind of crimson PRP seats. It looks dope. So really stoked to get this thing out wheeling this summer, get that thing out wheeling this summer for the first time. That's gonna be sweet. So stay tuned. I think maybe the next video we're gonna do some Broverland and stuff. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe we'll be just working on another vehicle. So anyways, till the next one, boys, like, comment, share, subscribe, do the thing.